Hello, everybody. Before we get going on today's episode, I wanted to mention that some of these episodes are being filmed in January, and I discovered in early February that Harry Mark Petrakis had just passed away. So rather than refilm the episode, I decided to add this little note at the beginning with my heartfelt condolences to the family. I decided to leave the episode as is with its immediacy, as a tribute to him, and I do hope that you'll check out his books. And now, if you're quite ready, let's take a look at my original comments on the great writer, Harry Mark Petrakis. Welcome to McNulty's Book Corral. You know, I was rummaging through my books, like I normally do when I'm trying to put together one of these episodes, to make some recommendations for you, and I came across a book that dates back to November 22nd, 1983. We're going way back in time. Now think about that date. November 22nd obviously is the anniversary of the death of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. This was a coincidence. I was on Wabash Avenue in Chicago, and I walked into a bookstore that is long gone under the L there on Wabash Avenue. I think it was a Croc and Brentano's. And guess who was sitting there? This guy, Harry Mark Petrakis, the great writer. I think he currently lives in Indiana. Harry Mark Petrakis was born in 1923. I believe he's 97 now, and I hope he's writing up a storm and getting us more books here. And this is the book he signed for me there, A Writer's Life, A Writer's Work, a little autobiographical book that he put out called Reflections, and he signed it for me. This was the first time I met him, which was by accident. I did meet him again after that. There's his signature, dated November 22nd, 1983. I can never forget that. You know, sometimes these things happen by accident. And I was going to the bookstore. I didn't know he was going to be there. I was familiar with A Dream of Kings from the 1960s, which is one of his best-selling classic American novels, which I strongly encourage you to seek this book out as well. And so I had a nice little conversation with him. That was the longest conversation I had with him. I met him a couple of times after that in the same manner that I met Cyrus Coulter, you know, at readings and so forth, or if he's giving a talk at Columbia College or wherever, Roosevelt, anywhere down in the Loop area. And Petrakis is great. He's another great man, another really wonderful writer, really down-to-earth, a soft-spoken, generous and kind-hearted man, and so forth. Whenever you meet people like this, you never forget them. You never forget these people. There are too many celebrities out there in Hollywood and even in the literary community who are not as classy as guys like Harry Mark Petrakis. And I'm sure you've encountered them. I'm not mentioning names. There's a lot of that. But Harry Mark Petrakis is a class act. And I hope he's well. Like I said, I think he's in his late 90s now. And so if you're looking for something to read, I strongly encourage you to read A Dream of Kings, his novel. This is about a Greek man who is going through the trials and tribulations of life. This is a modern novel in the grand tradition of literature, and it's beautifully written and heartfelt book, like the man himself. Very heartfelt. So I'm a fan of Harry Mark Petrakis. I have some other books, some of his more recent work. Twilight of the Ice. Many of you may not remember. I don't remember, but I'm aware of it. That the ice houses used to be a major industry in the United States. There, before refrigerators, they had to harvest the ice to keep food fresh and so forth. And so, anyways, here's a novel relating to some of the characters relating to that. This is more recent and a really good book. Nice picture of Chicago on there, I believe. And then I have Legends of Glory and Other Stories. These are some short stories that he wrote, also of recent vintage, that I recommend. I recommend anything that Harry Mark Petrakis writes. I think he's worth your time. If you're not sure where to start, that's what I'm doing with these videos. Start with A Dream of Kings. This is a great novel. This is one of the great American novels. And I am not one of those that believes that great American novels are a rarity. I think they're far more common than people acknowledge. Certainly they're far more common than critics and highbrow snobs will acknowledge. You know, critics are critics, you know. They're always looking for something negative to say. Well, I'm saying Great American novels like this are what you can be seeking out. And here is one of them, A Dream of Kings by Harry Mark Petrakis. My recommendation for today, check out his wonderful books. And thank you always for checking into McNulty's Book Corral. Stay well, stay happy, feed your brain. Read a book.